I got a couple people watching here. Long live Simba says, good evening. How you doing, sir? Says, Bruce, when you get a chance, I would appreciate you ask a few questions. No problem. Hey, Bruce, do you think if I study the CAP the next 2 months, I could take the test before it changes in August 16th? That's a very good question. So if you guys didn't know, these certifications, most of the IT certifications, especially if they're high level certifications or very respected certifications, IT certifications, they change from time to time, usually like every 3 years or something, every 3-4 years, depending on how big it is. Some of the larger ones don't change for a while, but they do all change from time to time. So the CAP, the ISC2 CAP, is changing on August 16th, 2021, the time of this recording. So we are a few months away from that right now. How do I think, and let me just answer the question. So do I think if you studied for the CAP in the next 2 months, I could? Yes, I would say. But let me qualify. Let me back up a little bit before I say yes. I would have to know your background. Have you done risk management framework before? Are you an ISO? Have you done information system security officer work? If the answer is yes, I would say 2 months is enough time. If you study well for it, I can quickly tell you like some of the things to study. And I have another instructor that I work with, and she just I haven't taken this thing in like years, man. Last time I took this thing, I think I took it when it first came out in 2011 or something. Like I took it a long time ago. I've been using it. Like I use the knowledge from it. That's why I know like off the top of my head how to do this stuff. I just did it for so long. But let me show you like some of the stuff you need to study. While I'm looking for this, I want to just let you know, like if you have been doing information system security officer work for some time, like more than 2 years, if you've been doing it for at least 2 years, I'd say it won't be too hard, particularly if you've been doing it for any kind of federal organization and you've done system security packages before. You know what a system security plan is. You know what a SAR and a SAP is. You know what FIPS 199, FIPS 200, you know NIST 800 series of documents. If you know those things, then you could study for it in 2 months. The questions are really out there, to be honest with you, like the way that they word it. I don't know if you've ever taken an ISC2 course before. The way they ask questions is there's some knowledge-based questions, like straightforward, like what color is the sky kind of questions, very straightforward yes or no type, blue, red questions, one word answer questions. But a lot of the questions, the ones that are going to throw you off, are going to be the comprehensive questions where they give you a scenario and then you have to answer the question, and then the answers, 3 of them are going to look the same. One of them is going to be a throwaway question that you can rule out immediately, but 3 of them are going to kind of look similar. And that's where it gets hard. The 3 questions that look similar, you got to, and it's going to come down to 2. You'll be able to rule. Usually, if you know your stuff, you can immediately rule out 2. And it's going to come down to 2 questions because it's a multiple choice test. So there's going to be 4 answers. You're going to be able to rule it down to 2, and you got to figure out which one is more right than the other. That's how it was when I took the test many years ago. The way they word the questions is what's hard, I would say. Not necessarily the questions themselves. It's the way they word it, in my opinion, that was out there. So let me give you a couple resources that you can use. All right. So one of them that you need to check out is they don't really go into, at least when I took it, they didn't really go into security control so much. They go into more of the process. So if you go to the ones you want to read is probably NIST 800, and this kind of surprised me. NIST 830, which talks about risk assessments. This one right here is one you want to read. Read through this one. Another one is 839, information security risk. Read through this one. It really focuses on NIST documentation. I was very surprised how much it focused on NIST documentation. 839 was a big one. 837 was a big one. This is risk management framework. They're going to talk about not only the risk management framework, but the system development lifecycle and how those two match up to one another. They talk about things like that. Excuse me. So the questions, when I took the test many years ago, it felt like it was more like management type questions, not like in the weeds stuff like, oh, what's SC8? What's NIST 800 SC8 control? What family is that? What it's not questions like that. It's like more comprehensive questions that are seeing if you understand where risk management framework matches with the system development lifecycle. It was stuff like that. Management type high level questions. And another one that really shocked me, another great resource is FIPS 199 and FIPS 200. Read those. This is literally like, I don't know, 20 pages, not even 20, like 8 pages. One of these is like 8 pages long. But you'll be surprised how much of it is in there, is on that test. I'm not giving you, I don't want to lose my CISSP and shit, so I'm not giving you specifics. Let me see. My level is very beginner, and to be honest, but my dad is deep in the government. He has taken the CAP course right now, and he is preparing to take the exam himself this month. Well, that's great. You can have a great resource. If I were you, I'd read all the stuff I just gave you. And another great resource, by the way, is the ISC2 squared. I'll show you that in a second. Anyway, if I were you, I would read those NIST documents I just showed you. Read them, start to finish. Right? Start to understand. Take notes if you need to. For me, I'll take notes and go through all my notes and figure out like how all of this stuff matches together. And in my mind, you got to give your own picture of your own understanding of how all this stuff fits together, right? Everybody learns differently is what I mean. You might, an audio book, you might be able to get one of those. You might have to do tests over and over again. Maybe you're just one of those guys who can just read the book once and you're good. But those resources, FIPS 199, FIPS 200, NIST 837, NIST 830, NIST 839, those were all like, I've seen those over and over again on the test in one way, shape, or form. You need to know the entire life cycle of risk management framework, from prepare all the way down to continuous monitoring, and how all of those match up to the SDLC, the system development life cycle. Okay, you need to know the difference between the system development lifecycle and the software version of it. Those are all the things that you need to know. And then what I would do, once you study all of those, once your dad takes the test, meet up with him and do some practices with him. Like have him teach you and guide you in the right direction. I'm not telling you to cheat or anything like that. I would not tell you to do that. I would not tell you to do that. But but what you got to do is sit down with him, take notes, and he'll guide you in the right direction. And I guarantee you'll see some of these NIST documents. He's going to also see some of these NIST documents on there. So yeah, that's what I would do. Oh, let me show you a couple more resources before we move on here. If I can find some resources here. One, a book I'm currently reading. Let me see if I can bring that book up. It is called, let me see if I can access my, okay, maybe I'll even show you my, they don't have do they have a soft copy of it on here? Kindle. So there's a Kindle book. I believe it's on Kindle. Not cheap. It's like $60, but it is it's a decent book. I mean, it breaks down things you should know as an information system security officer doing the NIST stuff, and it's training you specifically for CAP. And I am trying to find it now. Kindle Reader. Oh man, where is that thing? I don't think they didn't have a soft copy for it. I mean, a hard copy for it. I don't think. Let me see. There was some kind of restrictions on this book. Okay, I don't know how much of this I could show you. So I'm trying to bear with me real quick. I don't have it on here. All right, while that loads, let me show you something else. ISC2.org. Couple of really good resources that I'm going to show you. One is ISC2. This has some resources on here for that certification and other certifications. So let's go. You go here. I'm on ISC2.org. ISC2.org. Go to CAP, and this right here will have a breakdown of everything you need. If you download this right here, it's going to ask you to create an account and all that. They want to advertise to you, so you give them your email. You can give them a throwaway email if you want. And then it breaks down why you should get certified, CAP Fast facts, what to expect on the exam, how to prepare on the exam. Really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. What else is really good on here? They have some really good training resources on this site. Here's one right here. The series. Once you sign up for the site, they have a lot of free training resources that you can use for CPEs and stuff. So this is a good site. I mean, good resource on how to get through this. And it's covering like these right here. See this right here? This is pretty much what it's covering. Like these are some of the domains. And you'll notice that these domains line up with the actual risk management framework steps. So categorize, selection, implement, assessment, authorization, and continuous monitoring is broken up like that. And yeah, you got to know that's 837, by the way. It's all documentation. So yeah, that's it. I'm still trying to download this book real quick. Give me a minute and I'll show you this book and refer you to that book as well. And he says, thanks a lot. My strength is note taking and test taking, actually. So that's great advice. Yeah. So me too. I'm pretty good at training myself to actually take tests. You know, it's been a very marketable skill. It's been a very marketable skill. I know how to take tests. I know how to memorize it for myself. I don't know how other people do it. I know some people could just like listen to a book one time. It's not me. I gotta like take notes. I gotta have keywords. There's a certain methodology that I personally have to use, and everybody has a different training method here. I'm still trying to download this thing, so bear with me. There's one last great resource besides the NIST.gov sites with all the documentation that I want to show you, and I'm still downloading that, so give me a second. Hope to be a CAP role or close to one by the end of the year. That's a great goal. He is headed for security at a government site and looking to pivot. He has had his own officers make the transition as well. That's great. That's great news. Still trying to download Kindle so I can show you this book, by the way. It's one of the only books that I found out there, and honestly, after they change it, I don't know how relevant it's going to be anymore. It's been in print for a long time. They do update it from time to time, but it's just a lot of information that updates. So I'm just wondering if they'll keep up with this stuff. What is going on with this Kindle app, man? Wow. Oh, they're going through all this training stuff. Holy moly. Okay, let me see. Here we go. There it is. Okay, so I had to download the Kindle app because it's not on this computer for some reason. All right, let me see if I can find another way to do this live. I did not prepare for this one, just so you know. Oh, it won't let me read it unless I have the app, of course. Because why would you do that? Dang. I can't even click on it. Okay. In the interest of time, what I can do is just take the name. It's called the Official ISC2 Guide to the CAP CBK. Official Guide to the CAP CBK. I was trying to show you guys the inside of my actual book, but I'm having trouble with Kindle, so I'm not sure what's going on with it. It's not allowing me to access it, but here's what I'll do. I will show you the book. This is the book right here. It's not cheap. It's going for $70. Oh my goodness. It's like a college book. It's about half the price of a college book. Have you seen the price of college books lately? Anyway, this is $61. It's available on Amazon. That's where I bought it. And it's an okay book. It's really the best resource out there right now if you can just read a book, and the way it focuses on I like the way that they cover the material. I feel like is relevant to the test itself, not as relevant to the actual work you do, but the CAP is, in my opinion, is not super in tune with the actual work. In my personal opinion, it's very cerebral and it's very like academic, but when you get into real world stuff, I can't say that I used a lot of this. I mean, the ideas are there. I mean, like they talking about tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, stuff like that, the system development lifecycle. Yeah. But I feel like what they should have done with the course, with the CAP certification, was made it more relevant to an information system security officer, because most of the people who take this are going to be information system security officers. Just my 2 cents. Like, I feel like they should have made it to where it was more practical, but I guess that's not the ISC2 style. I don't know. But yeah, here's the book right here. It's pretty good. It's I would say it's worth your time for the purposes of taking the test if you want to take it before August, because I don't know how the new test after August is gonna be different from this. It might be completely different, and you're only like a month out now, 2 months out, month and a half out. We're in June, right? June, July, 2.5 months out. So yeah, I mean, I feel like you can do it. If you have some experience, you can do it. Okay, I got super long-winded on that one.